Lord of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
Like this.
What's up? What's up? It's another episode of Sight Beyond Sight, where we give you all our insight on everything pop culture. And I'm here again with Thomas.
What's up?
And today we're going to talk about two comic books that we recently read. I'm not sure where to start off with, but I guess we'll start off with Cowboy Viking Ninja.
Okay.
You want to get a synopsis of what it's about?
Okay, so basically what I've learned about in the comic was there's this like program for this special projects program that did like psychic like reconditioning or something to like give people with multiple personality disorders the abilities that their personalities had. So, and they're called triplets. So if you had like a cowboy like personality, you were a sharpshooter, and a samurai you could like do sword fighting and stuff.
Yeah. And they made all these triplets, which they call them. They're all like assassins. So they're all like mentally handicapped, obviously with the what do you call it? The mental
Illness.
Yeah. And but they all like they could tap into these characters, and they're all like weird characters. Like one's a submarine guy, and then a pirate,
And there was a like an Amish guy.
Oh yeah.
And the cook. I like the Amish guy.
Yeah. Then it was like the other guy that was like a
oceanographer.
Yeah, he was one of the main guys. Then there wasn't there the that guy who did the like rock and roll concerts?
That was the security guard guy.
Yeah. So it was kind of like a weird, funny kind of comic book. And it just like the main character is obviously Cowboy Viking Ninja. And basically what happened in there is that the governments are supposed to be depleted, like they're not supposed to be there anymore, but the agency calls him back and wants him to find first oceanographer, and then they find out that there's another agency that's doing the same thing.
Okay, yeah. And the Cowboy Ninja Viking is named Duncan. And then his like supporting cast is like his boss, another triplet, which was like his ex.
Oh yeah.
And the pilot, I guess, was
I don't think the pilot. Oh, you're talking about the blonde hair lady.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that like the blonde hair lady was like his entry back into it, I think. And then the like you said, the doctor guy that actually experimented on him, and then he ends up meeting his ex, who is another triplet, and she was on the other side, then goes back to him, and then flops again. Like, and it's like that love-hate relationship because she's a psychopath. So they really love each other, but they also like abuse each other, which was kind of funny. It was like a Joker Harley Quinn almost.
Yeah, I would more describe it as maybe like a Deadpool Deadpool Domino, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Because he would be more Domino, because he's more like level-headed than his ex, who was a psychopath, like just wants to kill and fight all the time. And she was like I forgot what her triplet. It was like an army lady.
Yeah, it was a sniper, a cook, and not a barber.
No, it was an army. It was an army. So
No,
it was like army, then a sniper, and then a cook. No,
it wasn't. No, it was a cook, and then maybe I think it was like a tailor, maybe.
Oh,
It was like the sniper, cook, tailor.
Okay, all right. So yeah,
there was an army guy.
Yeah, there was another army guy. Yeah, there was a few characters in there that has all these triplet things, and all the characters talk. So it's kind of like when the characters talk, they show like a silhouette in their panels of who's talking and why they're saying what they're saying.
Yeah, and it's like they have their own like space. It's like they're actually talking in the person's brain.
Yeah. And then I think there was this one guy that I kind of liked, the big samurai guy. He wanted to be a triplet, like he was in the insane
Right.
asylum.
The sumo guy.
Yeah.
He thought he was a triplet, but he wasn't.
Yeah, and so they just played around with him. But the whole thing is just like these people are fighting each other, and the main doctor of the Cowboy Viking Ninja is trying to stop the other doctor that's getting the other triplets because he's trying to like run the world. And then a doctor's trying to stop the good doctor's trying to stop him. But there's like a lot of little secrets here and there. And it wasn't a big comic book, it was like probably only 12 issues, something like that. And
Yeah, I felt like that. It was a short book.
yeah, but I found it fun. I found it very Deadpool-esque.
Kind of. I could see some similarities.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it. It was good.
Did you like the art on it?
Oh yeah, the art was great. Oh wait, what was the thing with the warhead and the Duchess?
I think that's what they were looking like. That was one of their missions, is to look for this warhead because the bad guys are gonna use it supposedly to,
So
bomb something.
Uh.
And they find out that the warhead wasn't even active,
oh,
something like that. And then it was just like a ruse to try to get these people to look for something that's not good. So it was a good like cat and mouse kind of storyline. I didn't like the art. I thought the art, because there was like some background stuff. It looks like there's scribbles, and I was just like, why do they like they put no effort into some of the stuff?
I didn't. I mean, I thought that was like the art thing. I didn't really
The
mind it.
type of art, yeah,
Yeah.
for the storyline.
Yeah, it's fine.
It could definitely work.
And at the end, with the big like plot twist, cliffhanger, that Trixie was like a sleeper agent
Yeah.
triplet.
Yeah. So you find out that the blonde lady that introduced what?
Spoilers,
Oh
fine.
yeah. The blonde lady that introduced the Cowboy Viking Ninja back into it, she's supposed to be like the girl that that's like you said, like a secret agent.
Yeah, like a
And then-
sleeper agent. Yeah.
And then you find out later that she's actually a triplet. And then there was this weird moment at the end, and I guess they go back because at the end it makes you think, was he in the insane asylum the whole time and he's going nuts, and was she just part of it, like was she just there and you didn't find out to the end? But then they end up killing the doctor that's supposed to be like the psychiatrist, and I guess they went off and did their own thing. But it goes back to the beginning, so it's a weird ending, but it made you think a little bit like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
So I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was that
Yeah.
bad.
The action was good. I thought
Yeah.
like the beginning, like Duncan's armor with like the hat and all, like I thought that was cool. I really wish they stuck with that.
Yeah, I did too, because what he's talking about is like in a comic book, he would wear like a cowboy hat.
No, it was a Viking
No.
hat and
Oh.
then cowboy pants and then like I think it was like chest plate, maybe.
Think so. And then he would have one like ninja sword. He would have
Ninja stars, and then a gun,
a gun.
and then an axe.
Yeah, and he had an axe. So it was like the characters had their weapons, and they all have different fighting styles, like he said. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but we're gonna transfer over to Sweet Tooth because I've been wanting to talk about this for a long
Yeah,
time.
Sweet Tooth is it's an amazing show on Netflix.
Yeah,
It's an amazing book. It's a very big book. I didn't expect to have that many like
yeah. No, but I thought I'm glad I watched the show before the book, because I felt like the book gave so many things that were better than the show did. But
Yeah,
I enjoyed the show
yeah.
for what it was.
I'll just so I'm gonna like explain the Sweet Tooth plot.
Okay.
Okay. So basically there's a sickness that is ravaging the earth or America or something. And if you watch the show, you basically know half animal children sickness. People are trying to hunt the animal kids because they think they caused the sickness.
Yeah.
And so we follow Gus and his father, and the father dies early on,
Yes.
which the show didn't do because like they more sticked around with him.
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah.
They more played around with his like backstory and well,
Yeah.
they do in the comics a little bit.
A very little, but you're right. In the comic books, it was like the panels because you don't find his backstory till later. But in the comic books, it was like his dad died right away, and what I took of it was like the innocence of this kid. Like all he knows is what his dad taught him, and he's in this weird cabin. So it's almost like how it starts in the show, where it's this little boy that's in a cabin. He doesn't know what to do, and then he steps out of the boundaries, and then the whole world just crumbles down.
Yeah, a bunch of hunters find him. They try to kill him, and then what the hockey player because they changed in they
Big man.
yeah big man it's like Thompson or something
I think so.
is like something Thompson, but he's the big man. He's in the show they made him a football player, but in this he's a
hockey player.
Hockey player. And he's kind of like guiding the he's kind of guiding Gus through the thing, like the wasteland, you can call it.
Yeah, he kind of like sees that he it's almost like the show. Like, so if you take the concept of the show where he leaves, Big Man tries to save him, and he says that there's a sanctuary for hybrid kids like him. But this way I say the comic book is way better, which they should have ended the show like. So once this happens, right? You see how Sweet Tooth gets its name because they lure him in with chocolate bars and he doesn't eat meat because he's like a deer kid.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? Big Man said that, oh, you have a sweet tooth, so I'll just call you Sweet Tooth. And then they find, in the comic books, they find certain groups like prostitutes,
yeah,
and all this stuff. But you find out the first story arc that Big Man is actually taking him to a preserve, but it's not to help him. It's the like the evil
scientists, yeah, with the goggles guy.
Yeah.
And then after he kind of like sells Gus out for the corpse of his like dead wife.
Yeah.
And in the show, in the book, it turns out that the wife was pregnant with a hybrid.
Yeah.
So he kind of, and this one, the kid hybrid that the wife birthed was the horse.
The cow. He was a cow.
Really?
Yeah. It looked weird, but I think he was a cow. He could have. Yeah, I think so.
He looked more like a horse.
Because the elongation. I don't know. He looked more like a cow to me. Because he had the big floppy ears and like he just wasn't fat.
And he buries the corpse next to his house, and he kind of just moves along with his life. And then in the comics, the people with like the deer, like I mean like the animal masks.
Yeah.
What was like in the show, they're more like elite squad of gamers who trying to help hybrids. It's like, what was their deal in the comics? I didn't get that.
In the comic books, it was because I always gotta try to relate it to Walking Dead. So there's different groups. So unlike the show, they just, like he said, made a like whole bunch of gamer kids that put on these masks and they try to protect the hybrids. But in a comic book, it's a crazy guy who doesn't protect the kids. He has like 3 hybrid dogs around him and he trains them to eat people. So he's just doing his own thing. Like he has his own sanctuary, but I don't think he likes hybrids at all. He's a nut job. And he just became like I'm not gonna say a king, but he just became a guy in his town, like a leader of his people. And I think the reason why they put on the mask because they're against the government, like the guy with the goggles, like the government agency, the scientists and all that.
The scientist guy, yeah.
So what happens is when Big Man drops him off Sweet Tooth at the sanctuary and he leaves to bury his wife, he doesn't know that he has a kid yet until he feels bad. He talks to the crazy guy with the people with the animal masks. And he was just like, yo, let's go back and let's do this. Basically, like, let's destroy them.
Yeah, like just destroy them. I'll like say a heist to get back the kids or something.
Yeah, because I think the crazy guy wanted the kids for himself, maybe to train or do whatever, and he just wanted Gus back. So when he goes there, Gus is befriending all the other
The
hybrids.
hybrid kids, yeah. But before this, we actually get to learn more about the father, because like the doctor
Mhm.
that was in the show, he kind of like is the psych ward or something, and he goes
Yeah.
into like Gus's brain, and we like realize that Gus's father was like this huge religious nut, and is just like spewing like a God created this plague to like get rid
Yeah.
of all like the bad people and made the hybrids to like be the new good.
Yeah. And yeah, because that's why, like, when you see Gus, he's very religious. That's why he didn't want to step out of his bounds at the thing, because he was scared, like, apparently, like, the whole world is supposed to go in flames or something like that if he leaves the house.
That yeah, if he leaves like the area, the whole world's gonna like explode or something.
Yeah. So he believed that until he stepped over, and then he realized, like, oh, it's not doing that. But so yeah, so Gus befriends a lot of the animal kids.
He befriends Bobby, the pig girl,
Yeah.
big man's son.
Yeah. And that's before, again, nobody knows that that's his son. That's another twist. So yeah, but he befriends all of them. Almost all of them were on the show, I think.
I don't think the big man's son was in the show, but it was the baby was a goat, not the horse, cow, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, all of them were in the show. So.
Basically, yeah. Okay. That's weird that they made him a goat instead. But so Big Man goes there, he tries to save him, but Gus is there's like a janitor that actually helps Gus, and the
Yeah,
janitor
is the brother of like the big
Oh,
scientist guy.
yeah, the goggle guy. So he ends up feeling bad for the kids, because when the kids get experimented on, some of them die. And he started like he would always talk to the kids where they're in the cell, and befriend them. And he was kind of like in a weird, like a weak guy, meaning like he's just weak to the world. He wants to go back to it the way it was. And he lets the kids loose at the same time that Gus comes. I mean, Big Man comes. So the kids are doing their own thing and they're escaping. And this is where Gus has to kill for the first time,
He
because
kills an alligator kid,
Yeah.
like an alligator hybrid to save. I think Peggy was her name, maybe.
yeah, I think it was something like that.
Peggy,
Peggy,
yeah.
because it sounds like piggy.
Yeah.
But because he when they're escaping through the sewers, and then there was a little crocodile kid, and they were in the water and bit one of the, I think, the Peggy, the pig girl. So to save her, he had to kill the
Alligator. Yeah.
alligator kid, and he felt really bad about it. Like, he later on starts remembering that, and it helps him out in the comic book. So they leave, and then not Gus, Big Man,
Jeopard. I remember.
Shepherd, there you
Jeopard,
go.
yeah.
He eventually finds them, and they're basically on the run. So you got the scientist people looking for him, and then you have the crazy guy
Looking for them. Oh
yeah.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out why he's actually looking for them too.
Maybe just like to train them.
Oh, maybe just to get the hybrid kids.
Yeah.
He escaped with all of them. So you got two of these other groups
Trying to chase them.
trying to chase them and kill them,
and then they meet the two of the prostitutes, right?
Yes, he gets the two of the prostitutes help him out, because I think he actually looking for like the crazy people with the mask. He goes back to them because he's hurt. They take care of him. He kills the pimp, and two of the girls follow him, and he stay at the place. So now it's Gus, the two girls, and I mean, Big Man, the two girls, and then Gus and about like 4 hybrid kids.
No, it was Gus, Peggy, Bobby. It wasn't the horse kid.
No, it wasn't the horse kid at first, because I remember he was the one that got left behind.
Yeah.
And they thought that he was dead.
Yeah.
And Gus, actually, Big Man left him behind, because the guy with the goggles was telling him, like, how do you know that your kid didn't survive, and blah blah blah. And when I think he got him, out of the gate or something. I gotta remember it.
Yeah, it's pretty foggy to me too.
So they left him, and that's where he realized, like, oh my god, that's my son, that cow kid or whatever.
Yeah, I still think it's a horse.
I'm gonna say cow, so you could say horse. And he thought that they killed him, like the goggle people killed him. So Gus is god damn it, Big Man is mad about that. And when he finds Gus, and then they have their weird thing because Gus doesn't trust Big Man because you sold me out, and then they have this little tiff. So they go in and they're trying to survive, and then they go into a like a forest.
No, it's not a forest. I think somewhere they're trying to find Gus's mother, like in the TV show, and then they kind of go north.
Yes, that's
So
right.
yes, they go north, and then while going north, they head to like this big fortress,
Yeah.
and they meet like this guy, like this injured guy, and they kind of like stay with him for a while. And as they stay with him, they realize that he lived in like the society, and they kind of like killed everyone. And so he's trying to like do like weird stuff.
Yeah. So
But what?
we also forgot to say that the scientist that was not the goggle guy, but the scientist,
Yeah.
he comes with the kids as well. Like
Right.
as well.
Yeah, he
And
comes with the kids.
He does play an important part. So once they go up north because of that facility, and then also Gus has dreams, so he's starting to like, it's like premonitions. So they go up north and they go into the woods, but first they kind of separate just a little bit, and one team gets ran up on by these guys that like the forest protectors or whatever, but they seem like bad guys. So they Big Man kills them all, and they try to escape. That's when they find the cripple guy, because the other people got trapped in a net, and the cripple guy let him loose, and he looks all messed up, so it's very like unintimidating, so they don't see that he's a problem or a threat. And then they follow him, and they follow him into what do they call it? Why can't I think of words? um where they stop the water, what is that called?
The dam.
A dam, yeah. So he's living in a dam, but they have like plants, and they're growing food, and they have like a little house set up, and they have books and all that. So it's just one crippled guy living in this dam, apparently, and making booby traps. So that would give you a hint of he's not really what he says he is.
Yeah. But while they're in the camp, one of the prostitutes gets the sickness.
Yeah, that's the one that was falling in love with Big Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, Big Man ends up falling in love with this woman, and once they're in the dam, she starts getting sick, and she's hiding it from everyone. Only the other prostitute ends up finding out first. In the meantime, Big Man's going out because he's trying to see if he could find other stuff, and he finds the naturalists or whatever, that they killed a few of them because they thought they were bad.
And then they were actually the people who originally owned the dam.
And they're telling him that the cripple guy is actually a crazy killer, and he just realized that he left all the hybrid kids, the scientists, and the girls with this crazy guy.
So then he rushes back, and then he basically has him kidnapped. Oh no, the janitor guy went with them too, right?
No, the janitor guy was in the dam as well. He gets killed.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so
he gets killed. That sucks.
Yeah, so this guy, he basically wanted to impregnate and be with one of the prostitute girls, like the younger one, I guess, that was there, and he wanted to make it like just his home, but he's a crazy serial killer or something.
Yeah, he's deluded, and then Big Man comes in,
saves the day like usual, finds out his girlfriend's sick, and lets her basically die. She says, "Leave me here."
And then does he let the naturalists like take back their home, or?
I think they let, I'm not sure, because that's around the time that the glasses people were coming, if I'm not mistaken. They start coming there, and they have to go back to the naturalist to get a car to keep going upstate.
Okay, and then Gus and friends go up more north, and then like they find this town, and then like the doctor is like reading like Gus's or Dad's journal,
Yeah,
and like he becomes like weirdly super religious.
yeah, because his in some point in the comic book, they go back to they find the cabin, they go back and they find his dad's journal, and then his dad is like almost like a diary of a madman, but he's doing religious texts, and it's coming to fruition of what's happening. So it's almost like a prophecy. So the scientists start believing that to a degree where he's not being logical anymore. So once they go back and take a couple trucks from the naturalists, Gus drives with the supposedly drives with the scientists, but the scientists basically stole Gus and said that we're supposed to like we're just gonna go because Big Man is doing his own thing. And
And
I
then
guess
Gus crashes the car, and then
yeah,
the Jeopard goes to like this town where they find like a bunch of more like more feral hybrids.
yeah, he goes all the way up there, yeah, and
And
finds more like it's like the original, and he finds more of the backstory of what happened with Gus's family because
yeah,
that's like the scientist lab. That's where everything started.
and then later they find like this underground thing under the lab which had like a bunch of the animal pictures, which basically what was the backstory is like a bunch of what are they called?
It's like Native American
No,
kind of
it's not that,
folklore.
but yeah, kind of like Native American Inuit like folklore, and it's like a bunch of I forgot they were in
Oh, the caskets.
no, not the caskets. I'm talking about the people who came from London to Alaska or whatever.
Oh yeah, there was like a little story because they go back and forth with like the past and whatever. So it
Yeah,
was like
no, it was like the journal that the doctor found, I think,
it was
and it
yeah,
was like telling the tale of like this taxidermist who like
came from England. It was like the discovery of America almost.
kind of, but like there were what are they called? People who like go to different nations to like spread the word of God or whatever.
Oh,
He's talking about missionaries.
Missionaries, right?
There
So
you go.
like people in like 1700s, a bunch of missionaries go out, and there's this guy who's supposed to get married to this other girl, and then like his friend comes over to Alaska, and then like he finds him. He like the guy kind of like is living with the Inuits now,
yeah, yeah,
and it's like because the rest of the missionaries got sick, so now he's living with them with the natives now.
yeah. And
and
then
and then he finds like this weird cave with all like the caskets, and he accidentally opens one, and it's like that's how he like spreads the disease kind of.
yeah, that was
And then the rest of like the missionaries who came, the second team missionaries kind of kills all the natives and kills him, and then because they did have a deer kid,
yeah,
and then he threw it into the cave and then killing it,
yeah.
and
So
then the taxidermist kind of gets, does he kill himself or
no, I think he gets the disease and
yeah,
dies,
he
and they
gets the
leave him.
disease and dies.
And that was like the beginning story of how it could have went, like where the disease possibly came from. So they do the whole Native American folklore, and it's
And
like a curse almost. And when
and-
Big Man goes back to Alaska and he sees the tombs, and
and then the goggles guy comes down and shoots him. No, the goggles guys came down first, and like asked like, what is this? Well, what are these? And like, and then like,
I think the Big Man was there first, no?
no, it was
Because I thought the Big Man went to the town. That's where all the people were following him. Because they were just all the animal kids were following him. And then he went underneath, he saw it, and then that's when the goggle people came down. and killed
that
him,
might
yeah.
have been, yeah, they killed Jeopard,
Yeah,
but the goggles guy also died.
Yeah, and then
And then it cuts to like two deer kids in the forest, and there are some like hunters, and then it shows that Gus, all grown up, he killed both of the hunters. He has two kids with Peggy or whatever,
yeah,
and then they built like a huge society at the cabin, and so like a bunch of the hybrids, the doctor's still there. He's a doctor for once. He teaches all about the human body.
yeah.
And then it kind of like it goes,
And it basically shows like the future of what everything is. So
and then
from the dam and going up there, there's all these fight scenes. There's different fight scenes happening. So when they get into, like you said, Alaska, there's this big fight scene where you have the groups come up and meet, and mainly the goggle guy and Gus and his people, and they're actually fighting. And then Gus ends up dying. I mean, not Gus.
Jeopard.
Jeopard ends up dying. I keep saying Gus. I don't know why.
I
And then
no, because Jeopard, Gus named one of his kids Jeopard, so that's why maybe.
probably. So then yeah, after they find out like Sweet Tooth was the firstborn because someone went into the tombs, because that's where the scientist is, and they started messing with the tombs
Caskets.
again. And he wasn't born. He was actually like, I think
in
they,
created in the lab, which
Yeah.
happened in the show.
yeah, so that's why it doesn't have like a belly button or whatever. But what happens is after the fighting and everyone dies, Sweet Tooth and all the animal, or majority of the animal kids survive. Like he says, they go back to the cabin. They create like a little society. They have kids, and other half breeds end up going there. And then you see them in the future, like Gus as an adult. Like you said, he's
Yeah,
hunting.
he's kind of like the leader, and then
Yeah.
in the future,
He
no, the son of Jeopard actually like starts and like we got to kill all the humans.
Yeah, so because he survives, and he knows his dad is that, big man. So he becomes like the rebel, and he's
Yeah.
kind of like disagreeing with Gus here and there. But Gus is always trying to keep the peace, and they're trying to, and then big man's son, the cow guy, he wants to kill the rest of the humans because there's no use for them, but he's just like, they're gonna die. Like, Sweet Tooth is like, they're gonna die anyway. Just like, let's just live in peace. Like if we
Yeah.
could just, and it's like a whole community of people. Then he has a kid, a couple kids with the
Yeah. He has two kids, right?
I think so, like two sons. I
Like two
think,
sons. Yeah, maybe I think it's like two sons and a daughter. I think,
maybe
and then
with
like
the pig girl. So
yeah, and then his two sons like go around the world. They meet people.
yeah,
They get a bunch of other hybrids.
to come and do that, and then you see Gus get old, and he's happy.
And then he dies,
he
which
dies.
is sad. And
Yeah.
then he goes to heaven with Jeopard, and that was the end of the story.
Yeah.
Please shut up your phone.
But yeah, but I feel like, because I don't know what they're gonna do in the show, but I feel like with the show, I feel they should have done the
Mm.
twist in the first arc, because then that
Yeah.
would make you more so want to watch. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this guy who saved him, why is he turning on him? And you could do, his wife was dead, and these people had those
Yeah.
bones of his wife. So the book was way, way better so far, but we'll see how the show goes.
Yeah. What I really hope what they do in the show, like to keep the comics more accurate, they're gonna kill off the wife. They're gonna bring back Jeopard's kid.
Yes.
If we're lucky, we might get to show. They might show us, grown up Gus in like and the end of season 2 or season 3, whatever.
Yeah, because the comic book stopped, so you can't. There's no reason to go on. Don't do a Walking Dead where you just keep going and going and going and going for no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the book was awesome. That's probably one of the best stories I've read in a long time. I was hooked on it, and yeah. How did you feel about the whole series?
For the comics, it was very great. I loved it. It was a long story. It was great. For the TV show, it was good. It had some like good elements to it.
And different elements to it too.
Yeah, it changed up some stuff.
Yeah, like the community in the show, they had a community of people, and they started like if you cough in front of them, they'll burn down your house and try to kill you.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
yeah, it's kind of like um it's kind of like different. I think that's maybe been a good addition because it
I
makes
think
more
so.
sense.
It makes more sense. And plus, if you look at the times with COVID, so it was like a over exaggeration of what it could have been. Like, don't cough in front of me, wear a mask. Like that's how the show was.
Yeah. Don't
So
birth a hybrid kid.
yeah. But nah, the show I felt like it had good elements to it, but I'll like to see where it goes. I just hope that they use some of the things, like you said, like Big Man's wife, like do something with that. Do something with actual I don't know what you're gonna do with Gus's mother, but we'll see about that.
Yeah.
But
I think that maybe Gus's mother is gonna like come down and like join the team and
yeah,
like save all the hybrid kids. Cause like
maybe hopefully they'll keep some of that Native American story in there.
I really hope they do that.
Yeah, because I like the fact that it's the same as Why the Last Man, but this one you know what happens. Why the Last Man? Spoiler alert, you never know. But they always hint at it. Like I feel like with Why the Last Man, if you watch the show and read the comic book, um, he buys a ring that's a weird metal or a weird rock for his girlfriend, and in the comic book, you never know because he always has it around him if that's what's keeping him alive because he's the last man alive. So, but there was that. Then there was like, oh, it was a religious thing, or um, it was some kind of warfare, like the
But yeah, all I've heard about is like this disease is killing every like male or
every man. Yeah,
something.
there's only the one guy and his monkey.
Oh, I didn't know there was a monkey.
Yeah, his monkey. Well, it's a CGI monkey on the show, but
Oh. I don't know. The
Are you
show
guys gonna
seems
read that comic?
Hmm?
Are
maybe
you guys gonna read that
I
comic?
already
Maybe.
read it. I could give it to him.
maybe
Well,
I don't know.
All right. So we're gonna end this episode, and I would say grab both books. Let us know what you think. I think both of them were good. Which one did you like better?
Sweet Tooth.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. I like Sweet Tooth a lot better. All right. So peace out.
See you, suckers.